Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
This is Herflow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner-takes-all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate-controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice-cold treats for the kids, then join us for free popcorn Thursdays because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our neurodiverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
As ready as I'm gonna be. All right. Excuse me. Welcome in. This is More Life. I'm your host, Mr. West. I'm a licensed insurance broker and preneed professional right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Put my earphones on all the way. This show is about real conversations, education, and helping you get more out of life by planning ahead so that you can be present and live in the moment. And I'd like to start off by saying what I got out of life this week. How did I get more life this week? I got more life this week in 3 different ways. One way I got more out of life was my son, man. I always got to talk about my son because he's so cool to me. He always asks me to take him to the park. We go to the park on the weekends. And this past weekend, I was just like, I don't feel like going to the park. I don't want to walk over there. I don't want to do it. But he's asking me, can we go? And it made me think about like how some people are saying kids these days, they don't go to the park. They don't play outside like we used to play outside. And when my son was asking me and I was saying no, I was like, you know what? This is why. Because you didn't take him outside. It's people try to say, you know what, it's different these days and all this kind of stuff. And it's the same days. It's the same stuff that's happening now that was happening back then. It's just in your face. So you can take your kids out to the park. You just don't want to do it. So, stop being lazy. Get up, turn off your shows, get off your Facebook, get off your Instagram. Take your kid to the park, especially if he's asking you to take him. So I took him to the park, and we played some basketball. He's been loving to play basketball at the park. He doesn't usually like to play basketball at the park, but lately he's been doing that. And we found this other little kid, and he must have heard us playing basketball down the street, because then he come down the street and he want to play too. So then he came, and then this other guy came. We was playing 2-on-2 basketball, and we were just having a good time. We spent a couple hours there playing basketball, playing in the park, and he enjoyed it. And I feel, much better that I took the time to take him to the park, and I didn't succumb to the laziness and say, I just don't want to go this week. I'm tired of the park. So that's one thing I did to get more out of life this week. The second thing, man, I've been having car problems. And so I've been having issues with my transmission. My transmission finally went out. It's like, dang, what I'm gonna do? Am I gonna fix this transmission, or am I gonna go look for a new car and succumb to a car payment? And my car's paid off now, so I'm enjoying not paying a car note and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I just bit the bullet. I bit the bullet and say, you know what? I'm gonna fix my transmission. I'm just gonna keep that and get more life out of my car. So I'm gonna get more life out of my car instead of taking on another bill, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that right now. And it made me think too about another video that I saw, and one of the big things was them saying that the industry tricked us. They tricked us into thinking car payments are normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to make payments, on a liability. You know what I'm saying? Is it a smart idea to make payments on a TV or a couch or something like that? People do it, but no, it's not a smart idea. It's better to just pay off your liabilities. So I'm getting more life out of my truck. Let's just say that. Another way I got more out of life this week was I got some clarity. I got clarity. And I needed to get clarity because, a lot of things were on my mind. And I was tired of circling back to this kind of same idea. And I'm like, you know what? I need some clarity, man, because I need to move. I need to move in one direction. Where are we going? So, I had to go get that clarity. I say, man, listen. And this person I was talking to, I said, man, you got to get off the fence. Is it going to be this or is it going to be that? Because I'm ready to make a move. So, I got that clarity, man, and that's helping me. That's helping my mind. That's helping me, make a decision that's good for me, and for my son. So, those are some ways that I got more life this week. And if you got whatever you did to get more life this week, put it in the chat, on YouTube or Facebook. Put it in the chat. I want to see it. I want to see what you did. So let's get into. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to reach out, you ever want to extend the conversation, or if you have any questions, you can reach me on Instagram at wes.morelife. That's wes.morelife. Today we're going to be talking about, this whole series has been about getting prepared. This whole show is going to be about, getting prepared. So this is another thing that people are not prepared for, and it's what actually happens when someone passes by. Not passes by. what actually happens when someone passes away. Like, what's the process? What, do you call the police? Who do you call? Like, some people don't know. And I didn't know, I didn't know before I got into this industry. But before we really dive into that, let's, kind of do a recap. We've been talking about pre-need this whole time, this whole series. This is part 4 of a 6-part series, and we're going to move into something else. So we've been talking about pre-need, like who it's for. Pre-need's for everybody. Pre-need is it's arrangements for your either cremation or burial in advance. And pre-need is also for clarity. It's clarity for your family. It's a gift for your family. It should be something that that you set up in advance where your family doesn't have to worry about having to make cremation plans or burial plans or making financial decisions about that while they're trying to grieve their loss. So this is so it's for everybody. Do this this is for your family. We talked about financial, how to pay for this. Obviously you can pay in advance. You want to pay in advance, but obviously you can pay in full. There's insurance options. I did a whole show on how to pay for it. So you can go back and look at those shows. And if you have questions, obviously, you can reach out. What did we talk about last week? Can't remember now. Dang it. Anyways, you can go back and look at that show too. But so let's get into this one. So the first thing that happens, well, there's a death happens at different places. So death can happen at it can happen at home. It can happen in a hospice, whether that's a hospice situation where you're set up at home or a hospice situation where you're actually at a facility. And it can happen at the hospital. So, what happens in all those different situations? First, it's always going to be shock, even if it's something that you are expecting to happen. When it actually does happen, you still get a sense of shock. It's still going to happen. You're going to have confusion. You're going to be confused, especially if you don't have a plan set up in advance. And it's emotionally overwhelming. But let's say something happens at home. Let's say there's an accident at home, or someone passes away because of like a crime situation or something like that. The first thing you want to do is dial 911. So when you call 911, you can tell them a series of things. You might say, I don't know what's happening with my loved one right here, because maybe you don't know that they've actually passed away. Maybe they're getting ready to pass away, and you just kind of don't know. So you call 911 and you tell them the situation. What's going to happen is the police are going to show up first, and they're going to show up before the ambulance. They're going to show up before the coroner shows up. And that's because they have to make sure that it's safe for those people to come there. So when you call 911, expect for the police to show up, and don't be upset that they did show up, because this is their policy. This is their protocol. So the police are going to come first, and they're going to make sure that the scene is safe enough for either an ambulance or a coroner to come onto the scene and evaluate your loved one. So in this case, if your loved one has passed away, or if they haven't passed away and if they have not passed away, then the ambulance obviously will check them out, and they'll most likely take them to the hospital. Because if you're calling them for in an emergency like that, it's probably very, very serious. So they're going to take them to the hospital. But if your loved one has actually passed away, the coroner is going to come, and the coroner is going to pronounce them. And I was talking to one of the arrangers about the time of death. And she was saying, it doesn't matter if they could have been passed away. They could have passed away for a couple of hours ago. The time of death is when the coroner gets there and pronounces them. And one thing I forgot to do, I forgot to shout out Inspire Life. I have to shout out Inspire Life. They're the funeral home here in Las Vegas. I like to look at them as like a boutique funeral home. It's very classy. It's very sleek. When you walk into the funeral home, it doesn't look like a funeral home. It looks like an art museum. And actually, when I went in, I spoke to a family today, and the guy was saying, you know what? He kind of tricked me a little bit. He started off with some negative. He's like, you know what? I've been coming in here too much. And he was saying, but you know what? I'm glad I've been coming here. I'm glad I've been dealing with Angela. And kudos to Angela, because these guys were giving her a lot of praise. I guess she's been dealing with them. They've had multiple deaths in the family within a year, I believe. And so she's been dealing with them, and she's been doing a great job with them. But the funeral home, it looks like an art museum. You don't even notice it. You don't even notice that it's a funeral home. There's no bodies laying around. There's no caskets laying around. It doesn't, it's more inviting than it is not. But the funeral home, when you call the funeral home, you're going to talk to Patty. Patty's going to, get you set up with an arranger. You're going to talk to either Angela, Angelia. You're going to talk to Chelsea, Denise, or you're going to talk to Marquand. And, they're going to do their best to make sure that they accommodate you. And these people are very good at what they do. So they're going to treat you like family and not just another number like, oh, we got another one. It's not like that. They're going to treat you like family, and they're going to take very good care of you. Josh is the embalmer there. He does a great job. He's the one that's responsible for making sure your family member looks good, and he does a really, really, really good job. I saw one that he did the other day. I said, man, that dude looks like he's sleeping. He didn't even look like he passed away. He looks good. He looks like he's sleeping. So he does a really good job. So you can trust that he's going to do a good job with your family member too. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. I was talking about what happens with your family member if they pass away in the home. So the coroner gets there, pronounces them, and then what's going to happen is they're going to take them to their facility, and they don't just stay there. That once they get there, the coroner is going to, try their best to contact the next of kin. They have a database that may have those things listed. Maybe it's on a medical record or a past medical record or something like that. Sometimes they even ask neighbors, if someone passes away in the home and there was no one there, they may ask neighbors, is he married? Does he have kids? That sort of thing. So they're going to do their best to contact the next of kin. And then once they get a hold of the next of kin, then they're gonna ask you. They're gonna ask you, do you have a funeral home? And if you don't, then you're gonna go on, I believe it's called a rotation. So there's some funeral homes that are set up on rotation, so they automatically get sent to that funeral home. And then if you happen to have a funeral home in mind and they do get sent there, then you're going to have to coordinate with your funeral home and have them transferred from that one to the one that you picked. I'm saying this, it sounds overwhelming, and it is overwhelming because, if you actually planned in advance, it wouldn't be so overwhelming. You'd already know what to do. But like I said, a lot of people don't. So they're overwhelmed by this. So this is going to sound overwhelming. So they go to a funeral home. Funeral home's not the one you pick. They go to another funeral home. They got to get transported. So once they get into our care, we're going to start coordination right away. So we're going to meet with you. We're going to start coordinating the services with you. What day, what time, what what type of service you're gonna have. Is a cremation or burial? You have to pick all those things out. You still have to pick that stuff out. And then there's lots of paperwork that you have to do. You have to, fill out paperwork for your death certificate, and the names on the death certificate need to match. Sometimes it's a maiden name. You need to know the maiden name. Sometimes you need the social. You need their parents' names. You need all this information. And sometimes people don't have it right on hand. Sometimes I've seen people they didn't know the maiden name, or they don't know the birthday. Those kind of things happen. So it's good to obviously plan in advance and have those sort of things ready to go, so you don't have to go searching through papers and try to find this kind of stuff. So that's what happens if someone passes away in a home without hospice or anything like that. Now, if they are set up with the hospice, as soon as they're in hospice care, usually when somebody goes to hospice, they're preparing to go. Sometimes they take a little bit longer. Sometimes it's a year. I've seen that, and they just keep on living. They just keep on kicking. But usually when you go into hospice care, the hospice staff is telling you to get your affairs in order. And so they're gonna prepare you. You're gonna reach out to the funeral home that you want your loved one to go to, and you're gonna start that process. You're gonna do all the planning. But they already know. So if they pass away in hospice care, the hospice knows what funeral home to call. And so they're going to call us, and we're going to come pick up your loved one. And we're going to take care of them. We're going to start the coordination process. And it's very similar with what happens in the hospital. Like if someone passes away in the hospital, it is similar, but often you don't already know what funeral home you're going to send your loved one to. So if you're in the hospital and you pass away, and the staff is saying, look, it's probably that time, you need to get a funeral home set up, you're going to have to do that, because your loved one they don't just stay at the hospital anymore, because they have to go somewhere. They can't stay there. So it's very similar. Once you establish the funeral home, they're going to call the funeral home. They're going to call Inspired Life, and then we're going to come pick them up. We're going to take them into our care and start the coordination process. Sometimes they'll also contact immediate family, like I said, legal next of kin, and sometimes they'll contact a clergy if that applies. So next, I wanted to get into the information that's often needed after someone passes away. And I kind of talked about this a little bit with the death certificate, but your family's going to need your full legal name. I know that sounds like duh, but you'd be surprised, man. Some people, they got different names. They got aliases. Man, I got an uncle that got a different name. I didn't know. A great uncle got a different name. I'm like, man, I didn't know that. But you need to have their full legal name. It needs to be spelled correctly. You need their date of birth. It needs to be their exact date of birth. You need to know the date, month, and the year. You need their social security number. You need to know their place of birth. Sometimes you don't know that. You don't know where some people don't know where their spouse was born. That's kind of crazy, but it's happened. You need to know parents' names, because both your parents are listed on the death certificate. Marital status and veteran status, you need to know that too. And so when it goes on that death certificate, that death certificate is used for a lot of things. Sometimes you have to present it to like the bank, or you have to present it to like an insurance policy to do insurance company to do a claim on the policy. So those things, all that stuff needs to be spelled out correctly, and it needs to match what they have, so that you don't have any further delays. We're probably going to take a break here in a few seconds. But those are some things that you need to know, and I can't stress planning in advance more, because I get people that come in there, and I've had people come in and they don't even have their own driver's license. It's like, no, you can't. We need to go get the driver's license. And now you're running back and forth, and you got to get that, and you got to get some other stuff. And it's better to just have this in advance, ready to go, so that you're not scrambling at the last minute. Are we okay? Hey, Ryan Macklin. Hey, Connie Mitchell. Facts. What's up, Connie? Yeah. So we're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll be back. We're going to talk about some major decisions that need to be made as well. All right, peace out.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey!
I'ma show you I'm the best. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. And I'ma get it poppin'. And I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. There's no stopping, I'ma hold you in my arms. Harvest go now is warm. And baby, we can beat the storm. Loving you like Boston George. And darling, you my moon, hey. Yeah, you show me the light. Get with me, I'll treat you right, hey. And I'll treat you right. Now she wanna rock and she wanna roll. Baby, I won't bend and I won't fold. And I can get you now, your heart I stole. Your heart I stole. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I want you. I'ma show you I'm the best. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. And I'ma get it poppin'. And I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. We can hit the lotto, lotto, lotto. We can pop a bottle, bottle, bottle. You're looking like a model, model, model. Model, hey.
Wine slow, wine fast, wine slow, wine fast, wine slow. I said it, wine fast, wine. This is the remix.
I'm stuck on the road, baby. Haven't been in my right mind. I'm thinking about you, baby. I need a new lifeline. I ain't going nowhere. Promise I won't disappear. We can spend many nights rolling through city lights. Girl, you know you're my equal. Let's continue this sequel. I knew right away that you would be the type. On my toes, you keep me up. Girl, let's go, I'm keeping up. Got a coming. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it.
Lonely, my little lover from my home, man. I miss the way you put it on, man. You used to ride me like a pony, but I had to run the streets. I do it for the cheese macaroni. You know it's hard to control, man. So don't say you won't play. Don't wanna suit you for weird on your birthday. A little niggas on the side if you thirsty. I wanna feel you inside in the worst way. Yeah, dripping so wet, need no foreplay. Wind up on me like it's Juve. Oh, you know they hate us when we going up. You know you love the way you're slowing down. Lucky nobody when I'm not around. Me left Jamaica, now I'm back in town, and I know
you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. I know you're sitting home lonely. Sitting home lonely.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
Okay. All right, we're back. You're listening to More Life. I'm your host, Mr. West. I'm a licensed insurance broker and preneed professional right here in Vegas. Today we're talking about what happens when someone passes away. So we're talking about, what happens when they pass away at home, in the hospice, in the hospital. And all of this is just really leading back to pre-planning for your service, because this is overwhelming. It's overwhelming because all the stuff that you already have to do when someone passes away, and then it's overwhelming because of all the grief that that comes into play as well. So we talked about those 3 scenarios, and then now, so once if you have not had a plan, if you don't have a plan, and now your family member is at a funeral home, you still have to decide, is your loved one going to be buried, or are they going to be cremated? And then shout out to Inspired Life too, by the way. Inspired Life, you can call them at 1-800-723-1465, 1-800-723-1465. You can make an appointment with me, and we can sit down and we can either go over an existing pre-need plan that you have. If there's some things that you are not sure about, I can look at it for you. And then if you don't have one, let's get one set up for you. I can help you with that. Just call the funeral home. You can make an appointment. Like I said, 1-800-723-1465. Talk to Patty. Patty's going to set you up with me. And Patty's great, by the way. She's pretty good at what she does. But anyways, you still have to decide, is it going to be a burial or cremation? And there's headaches that comes along with that. There 2 different processes, and there's so many different things that you have to do for each one. So when you plan in advance, you kind of already know those things. You kind of already got it set up, and it's just less stress. It's just less grief for you and your family. You're gonna have to decide what type of service you're gonna have. Are you gonna have poetry readings? Are you gonna have a pastor or preacher do a service for you? You're gonna have family members speak. You have to, set these things up. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want that at all, and that's, you have to also make that decision too. So there's types of services that need to be planned as well. And then there's timing of services. Is it going to be on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? What day is it going to be on? And and what time? Because I'll tell you what, some days cost more than other days. I think a Saturday is going to be more than a Wednesday. So, you have to, think about those things too. And then you got to think about your budget. How much are you going to spend? These are all things that you are thinking of at the same time you're grieving the immediate loss of your loved one. And you're doing this because, you didn't plan for it. And you're doing all this under, under emotional pressure. It's grief, man. Your loved one just passed away. You're sad. You don't know how you feel about, you don't know how you feel. You're running through all types of different emotions. And now you got someone saying, all right, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Asking you all these questions. And some people snap. Some people get pissed off and they're like, man, just let me grieve. Well, I'm sorry, but this is a part of the process. You still have all these decisions that you have to make. And there's a financial side to it as well. There's payment expectations. We are obviously very sensitive to the fact that you did just lose a loved one, but there's still a cost. You still have to pay something. And that's why it's important to plan in advance so you don't get caught off guard and someone hands you a $9,000 bill, a $10,000 bill. You're not caught off guard. You knew, if you planned in advance, you knew it was coming. And in the best case scenario, you've already paid for it in advance, or you've at least set up payment arrangements. When someone passes away, there's the insurance claims side too. A lot of the times the insurance company is going to do an investigation. They really want to know, did you lie on your application? How did this person die? If on the application you said that you did not have cancer and it turns out that you died of cancer, then I'm not going to say they are, but they're most likely going to decline your claim because you lied on the application. So don't lie. But there's an insurance process. Even with life insurance, life insurance is going to do an investigation too. They want to make sure that you passed away according to the rules of the policy and not outside of the rules of the policy that you signed up for. Sometimes there's out-of-pocket cost. Death certificates cost, money, sometimes up front. You're going to be traveling back and forth to the funeral home. You're going to be spending that gas. You may have to buy some plane tickets to get some family members out. You may have to have an impromptu meeting with your family so that you can discuss the arrangements. And, you have that impromptu meeting, that's going to cost money too, because you're going to probably have food or something like that. And so there's a financial side that you still need to be prepared for, even at the time of death. And and we're not trying to be rude, but this is a for-profit business still. It's for-profit business. We're in this business to make money. But pre-need is going to reduce the stress. It's going to reduce anxiety. you have the plan and that's already there for your family members to follow. And then the insurance, like if you have insurance, like final expense insurance, that's great too. But just remember, that's what we talked about last week. We talked about the insurance side of it. But just just so you know, if you have like a final expense insurance policy, your family member or the beneficiary that's going to get that money, they don't have to do anything as far as your funeral service is concerned with that money. They can do whatever they want to do. They could take it and go to Aruba, and they could take it and go put a down payment on a house, or go buy them a Corvette or something like that. They could do whatever they want to. But if you have a plan, I mean, you hope that your family member is going to follow that plan, but with final expense insurance, they don't have to. With burial or cremation insurance, the funeral home is the beneficiary, and the funeral home is going to carry out your final wishes. So and then there's the emotional reality, and we've talked about this, already, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. Gosh. But there's grief that comes into it. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna be all these different things. You have different family dynamics that are gonna be popping up. People are gonna be upset. You have some estranged family too. That's a difficult one sometimes too, when you have someone who passed away and their next of kin is estranged. Let's just say, for example, your dad is not married. Maybe his wife passed away, maybe they're divorced, but they're not married. Let's just say the kids are estranged. The kids say, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with dad. He's tripping. He's crazy. I'm moving to Texas. I'm getting away from him. If that happens and your father passes away, we're going to do our best to try to locate the next of kin, the legal next of kin, and we're gonna try to contact them. But if we don't contact them, then we basically have to keep your your body for 30 days. We can't really do anything with your body yet. So now we have a body that's sitting in our refrigerator for 30 days, and we can't really do anything with it. So embalming is great, and the funeral director says this. The embalming is great, and it slows the decaying process, but it doesn't stop the decaying process. So your loved one is decaying, skin's falling off, all kind of crazy stuff. So, there's all those different types of family dynamics that could happen and that could slow the process down. So, your arrangement, your preneed is gonna, put these sort of things in order so that doesn't happen. There's also a situation with family dynamics, like, let's say your legal next of kin, say you don't want them to do your arrangements for whatever reason. If you don't want them to do your arrangements, you can assign someone else. It doesn't have to be a legal next of kin. It could be your neighbor Bob, or your coworker, or whoever. It could be somebody else that you assign, but you have to do that in advance, and you have to get it notarized. And then you need to keep it on file, so when somebody finds you, they know what to do. And what I would do also is once you fill out that form, I would, like I said, keep it on file, but then I would contact the funeral home too and give them a copy so that they know, so no one can come in there and say, yeah, I'm legal next of kin, and well, yeah, you are legal next of kin, so we can't do it. But no, he has an authorization. It's called an authorization for cremation or burial assignment for somebody else. He wants his neighbor Bob to handle this because he don't trust you. And then there's obviously disagreements that happen with family. Those disagreements vary. I don't want Dad to be cremated. I don't want him to be buried. I want the service to be on Sunday at Victory Baptist Church. No, I don't want it to be there. I want it to be on Saturday at Israel United in Christ. I want the service. There's all these sort of disagreements that could come up that a pre-need arrangement helps you avoid. And then it does take away the pressure on the decision maker, because now all they have to do is just have to sign, forms. Of course, you need to understand the forms that you're signing, but it's as simple as just sort of signing forms and picking a day for the service, day and time for the service, and then letting all your family members know, all your loved ones know when the service is going to be. So it takes the pressure off of them when you already have these things planned and ready to go. So, the planning gives you more clarity for you, more clarity for your family. And it gives you a space so you could grieve. And I also want to give a shout out to Revive Lounge. Revive Lounge is also located here in Summerlin. Go to their website, revivelounge.com. They're having a grand opening on the 15th, and it's going to be spectacular. You should be here. The vibe in here is very chill. This is all about, this whole situation here is all about being stress-free, and Revive kind of carries that over too. So, and they've got some good mocktails that are in here. They've got some great tasting teas, and they serve the tea the way it's supposed to be served. I didn't know you were like adding like the honey and stuff like that. You shouldn't really do that, but you can. If the taste is not, if you want something a little bit sweeter, yeah, you can add it in there. But they serve it the way it's supposed to be served, and then you could do what you want to do with it. And they have a bunch of different flavors too, and they're all good. But on the 15th, go on the website, revivelounge.com, RSVP, so that you're not left out. There's been a couple small tester events. Oh God. There's been some tester events. They're trying to, testing out the menu, testing out the drinks, and they're not small, but they are private events. And there've been some good live entertainment, man. We've had some good singers in here. We've had some good musicians come through, some poets. It's a good vibe in here, man. And I would highly recommend, you come check it out, leave the stress at the door, check your attitude at the door. It's like when you come in here, it's like you probably want to take your shoes off when you come in here and put your feet up somewhere. That's what kind of vibe it is up in here. So anyways, back to today's topic, what happens when someone passes away. Right now, I want to talk about some of the, well, let's do some reflection. And these I ask these questions each episode, and they're really something that you should think about. You should think about, ask yourself this: who would handle things for me? Who's going to handle things for me now? Think about who that is. Would they know what to do? Would they be financially prepared to handle the service, the cost of everything? And if you know who that is, if you know who that person is, and you've told them your plans, and they are financially able to handle it for you, that's great. Make an appointment with me so we can get the plan on paper so that there's no confusion. Call the funeral home, 1-800-723-1465. Make an appointment. Let's get everything on paper. And that whoever that person is, we need to assign them. So there's no confusion with, the whole next of kin thing, because that can be really confusing. Some people think cousins are next of kin or nieces are next of kin. They are next of kin, but they're not legally next of kin. So that's kind of a gray area. So, but if you assign this person ahead of time, you don't have those sort of issues. And if you haven't talked to that person, you don't know who that person is, you need to find out who that person is. Who's the person that you could rely on? Tell them what your plans are. Set up, come sit down with me. Let's set up a financial plan. Whether you're going to pay it all in full or you're going to do payment arrangements, you're going to pay it over time. We could do that. We can add insurance on it so that if you do pass away before you end up paying, the whole thing off, we're going to cover a portion, if not 100%, depending on the time. So think about that. Get that person. Tell them your plans. Come up with a financial plan as well, and then sit down with me. But that's it for today's conversation on More Life with me, Mr. West. Like I said, I'm a licensed insurance broker and pre-need professional right here in Vegas. You can reach me on Instagram at west.morelife. That's west.morelife. Add me, send me a DM. You can ask me questions there. Like I said, you can call hey Sandy. We can call call the funeral home, make an appointment. The next episode, we're going to be talking about the real cost of funeral and service. So maybe I'll actually give you some real numbers to deal with. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give you a ballpark. I kind of want to get you prepared for, how much this stuff really costs. So that's it. Reach out to me. That's all I got for y'all today. What's up, Sandy? All right. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.